Hello and welcome to IrishRacing.com for another edition of Formscan. Massive weekend of racing ahead of us this weekend. Fairyhouse, Cheltenham, Doncaster, Naas. A lot to get stuck into, and I'm delighted to be joined by Paul Callaghan, who will be my guest for this week's episode. Paul, how are you keeping?
Yeah, no bother now. Keeping busy, so can't complain.
Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, you're saying the newspaper's going to print you with the field now, obviously, but I suppose for people who mightn't know you so well, give us a bit of background to yourself and kind of what you're doing these days.
Oh, bit of background. Well, grew up in North Meath from a farming background. Um, would have been off to Fairyhouse. Fairyhouse at the time was on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We were always off on a Wednesday to Fairyhouse. It was family day. So I graduated from there to heading off to the likes of Nav and Dundalk, Bellewstown, Sligo, and what have you, and just developed a love for horse racing, I suppose, through my father. Um, and I started primary school at the age of 5, and I knew starting that I just wanted to be a national hunt jockey, and that was it. So fast forward to the leaving cert, and I started off with a trainer called Jerry McCardle, actually, when I was only about 14 or 15, working weekends. Jerry doesn't train anymore, but he'd be shrewd enough. He always had something lined up for Dundalk. Used to be on every Friday in June over jumps, and he generally had something lined up for Friday, and never really left it behind either. So that
He's a
was
good
that.
man to get you started, so.
Yeah, he was good, and so from there I went to I 3 days done the leaving cert at 17 in a fashion, and after the leaving cert I was in Tom George's 3 days after the last exam. Had a job lined up and all, and worked away from there. My first ever ride was on the 4th of December 2001. That was a winner on a horse called Alone at Hereford, and yeah, I had 10 enjoyable years in England. It was hard work now, riding over jumps. Had a few rides on the flat as an amateur, and then came home, turned conditional say when I was 23, 24, and then landed home at 27, and wasn't really enjoying it, and probably should have took a different path a bit sooner. But that was it. Spent 9 years in Boyle Sports, and while I was there, I hooked up with Irish Jockeys Trust with Alan O'Sullivan, and I went to college, studied part-time in Dundalk, and graduated with an honours degree. So I am now working in advertising and marketing for the Irish Fields, and I also do a bit of MC work at Dundalk and Fairyhouse. So little bit of
Brilliant.
podcasting as well.
You keep busy, so you have plenty of jobs on the go. But you're probably in Fairyhouse tomorrow, so I presume.
No, I'm not. I'm not sure when my next port to call on that is. I'm at Dundalk on Wednesday,
Very
and
good, very good.
that'll be the warm up for Leopardstown on Saturday.
Very good. Look, we've got plenty to get to, I suppose, so we'll drive into it. We'll start with Fairyhouse, I think, for the Solerina Mares Navarre's Hurdle. Kind of a race one in memory of the great Solerina for the Bow family, won 22 out of 40 races, 5-time grade, one winner. I'm not sure if we'll find something like her inside here, but there's some nice mares lining up for this one again. JADE GRUGY there's a early market favourite for Willie Mullins. He's got a strong team in here, but there's some good challengers as well, I think, Paul. Are you with the favourite here?
Yeah, it's impossible to oppose her. I think she's 8-1 already. She's best price 8-1 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham in March, and she'd want to be taking care of these. Like, she looked very good at Leopardstown over the Christmas period. She's a shade of odds on. She's 4-7 here. I'm seeing best price, and yeah, I think she's going to be very difficult to beat. 8-1 for the Mare. If she was too short for you in this one, I'd be happy enough to have a small wager at 8-1 for the Mayor's Novice at the
Yeah,
Fest.
she should have a good crack at that, I'd say. But there is some good mares in it. Like, she was very good at Leopardstown, like you were saying. She beat the Butcher's Hollow very easy. I kind of liked the, Henry's mare there that looked to the west. I thought she was good on debut, but yeah, JADE GRUGY kind of won with a big reputation from Mullins Yard. Yeah, she should be very tough to beat here, so we won't waste too much time on this. We've got plenty to get stuck into it. We'll go straight on to Cheltenham, I suppose. Lot of good races here with plenty of strong Irish challengers, but we'll start with the 1205, the JCB Triumph Hurdle Trial Grade 2 race, and some exciting, like, top kind of contenders for the Cheltenham contest kind of showing up here. I suppose we'll start with Bartlett Road. Kind of, he's a horse hadn't really convinced me until before the last day when he won in Cheltenham. Very high rated flat horse, of course, rated over 100. Looks very, very impressive. Would you be strong on his credentials for this and maybe Cheltenham after that?
I would. I certainly wouldn't be dismissing him. I know, and obviously the price reflects this for Saturday and again in March. But I'd be looking to take him on. Like, he's not as straightforward as Sergino. I thought I was very impressed with Sergino last time out. Now, Bartlett Road had a lot to contend with the last time at Cheltenham. There was a few mishaps and loose horses and whatnot in the early stages, but he's not as straightforward as Sergino. I was very, very impressed with his win at Kempton last time out. It was definitely, I think, connections were opting for a very educational race. To try dropping him a bit worse than mid-div, he was a little bit keen. He wasn't over racing too much, but he was just a little bit heavy-headed in Nico's hands. Jumped superb. When he's spot on, he's absolutely deadly. And when he's short as well, for a horse that hasn't ran, he only had the one run in France prior to that. In comparison to Bartlett Road, you often get the flat horses are a lot more battle hardened than those who haven't ran on the flat and are coming straight from bumpers or going straight over hurdling. The flat horses, if they're meeting one wrong, they're generally very quick thinking and they're very quick and good to sort themselves out. But Sergino is just as good. And he won with plenty in hand. Like you saw when he hit the front, approaching the first hurdle. I think it was the second last, the first hurdle in the straight at Kempton. Like Nico kind of had to give him a couple of liveners down the neck just to waken him up. He had a good look over the last two. I think he gave the second last about 6 foot. I think the faster to go, the better he'll be. He's a fine big horse for a 4-year-old. And I think Bartlett Road is going to have his work cut out here to get the better of Sergino.
Yeah, should be an interesting one. Bartlett Road's kind of hard on himself, like, so when he's meeting this will probably be his biggest test, I suppose, like you were saying, Sergino, very exciting one for Nicky. So yeah, they're nip and tuck, but you're probably on the side of Sergino, like you were saying. I probably wouldn't be backing either of them, but I think it'll be a good pointer towards the juvenile hurdle. They're both very talented horses. But we'll go on to the 115, the Paddy Power handicap chase. 2 miles 4 furlongs. Plenty in here you can give a chance to. You were saying you have a fancy in this one as well?
Yeah, one at a bit of a price. Jetoile, who's round about the 11 to 1 mark. Jetoile gave Ryan Potter his biggest day as a trainer when taking the old row and chase at Aintree last time out. Jumped and travelled like an absolute dream. Now, a slight concern is he's only had 8 runs over fences, so there should be more to come. He's had 3 of those were wins. He's had 5 career wins, all of which were under Darryl Jacob. So I'd be kind of hoping that Brendan Powell can make a bit of history here and be the first one, bar Darryl, to bring Jetoile home in front. I think if he turns up in the same form here as he did at Aintree last time out, I think 11 to 1 could be a bit of value.
Looks a bit of each way value there, of course. Wodhooh was good here last time as well, but plenty of these you can probably oppose. So yeah, Jetoile looks a good each way price here. I didn't have a really strong fancy in this myself, but yeah, nice little each way pick there. Kind of move on to one of the races I'm kind of most looking forward to here, the Cotswold chase. It's kind of won plenty of good memories of this from the past. Manny Clouds, a winner. Plenty of good horses have won this, and I think it's just very interesting to see a horse like Stay Away Faye showing up here, a novice stepping up against the older boys. Strong competition here as well. Like Ahoy Senior, a good winner this last year. The Real Whacker kind of has to bounce back a bit. There's still doubts about him. I'm just looking forward to seeing what Stay Away Faye can do. Who would you be looking to go with here?
I'm all over Datsalrightgino. He'll not have 19 horses to pass here now. He only facing the five opponents. Like he never really looked a winner, did he? In the first half of the race at Newbury last time out, he ran out a ready winner. He's a horse on the upward trajectory. Got a good hike from the handicapper, and probably rightly so. I think he's a cracking price here. He's as big as 6 to 1. Stay Away, short enough at 3 to 1, but comes in here on the back of 2 victories. Royal Pagaille, I don't think it's going to be soft enough. As you mentioned, the Real Whacker needs to bounce back. High Senior wouldn't be the biggest shock now if he bounced back, but you couldn't back him with any real confidence. So Capadano, I think, will struggle. So I think that's Gino is going to be the more solid option. And like I said, a smaller field here. If he latches on to the main group, has to be on the premises.
Yeah, just looking at the betting there, like like all of them are in with a real chance, but it should be a real kind of competitive contest. Like I suppose I can't really see a proper Gold Cup horse coming out of it. Like they're all kind of maybe a little bit questions about them, but it should be a great race to watch anyway, I suppose. Like I just think the novice stepping up, he's kind of probably got a bit more potential than the rest. The Real Whacker is kind of horse I liked him last year, but I don't know, what did you make of that King George one? I suppose he didn't run overly badly. I suppose he was 4th, bit of an improvement on his he was lame after the Cheltenham effort, but like, can you see him coming back to anything near grade 1 form again this year?
I could, like, Kempton wouldn't be for everyone's cup of tea either, and had a couple of rides at that meeting before, and at the time, I remember just the official going was soft. There was a bit of frost in the ground, and it rode really, really dead. And the 3 mile start at Kempton is just past the winning post. So you need to get into a bit like Ascot. Ascot's a little bit more severe. They're 3 mile start, but a slight comparison there. And at both tracks, the first 2-3 furlongs is as crucial as the end. If you can get into a rhythm in the first half mile at Kempton, you're set up for the race. But if you're on the back foot, it's very hard to get into a rhythm. And I think probably back at Cheltenham here, I'll excuse his last visit to Cheltenham, but yeah, he does need to bounce back. But I'd be a bit more forgiving. I could understand his probable poor performance at Kempton in the King George.
Yeah, look, it'll be a cracker anyway. I'm probably with the Novice, and you're with Datsalrightgino. Betting suggests everyone is in with a chance for that one, but one that probably isn't so competitive. The next race, the reschedule, Clarence House. Jonbon, about 3-10 on favourite. I can't see anything anywhere near him. Can you?
No, bar disaster. He leads them home, doesn't he?
Yeah, I suppose Editor de Geest did surprise in Argamine last year, but I just can't see that happening again this year. Like, you'd imagine it'll be a bit of a stroll in the park, really, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I'd like to see Alexander de Nuts, and you'd imagine he will run his race. I'd like to see him run a nice race for connections. But yeah, Jonbon, bar disaster, he wins this.
Bar disaster, he wins this. That's enough for that one, I think. Pity we didn't get to see it last week, I suppose, with El Fabiolo coming over to
El Fabiolo.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it is as a spectacle, as a racing fan. That's what we all want to see.
Yes, I like to see these kind of clashes even before Cheltenham. Like, we were actually we were in Martin Brazel's yard there the other day, and it was interesting. Someone actually asked him, "Would you prefer to avoid Galopin des Champs before Cheltenham?" And he said, "No. Like, I'd like to know coming to Cheltenham where I stand anyway, at least." And I think that's a great attitude to have for a trainer. Like, it's kind of great for the fans as well to get to see horses like them meet a couple of times a season instead of just waiting for this big race in a month's time or whatever. But
yeah, absolutely, and it would get it would put fans in the stands. Like growing up when I was going racing, like the likes of Istabrack, Dinoli, Doran's Pride. Then we had Large Action. Then Oliver Sherwood trained that one, and they would meet like numerous times during the season, and it would always, like, I can remember going to Fairyhouse, like when Istabrack was there, and like you couldn't get near, you couldn't get to see him unless you were stood beside the parade room quite early. It was just as packed.
Yeah, it's kind of changing kind of sport now. It's a pity, I suppose. Like, oh God, I would love to see Constitutional Hill come on over there next weekend for the Dublin Racing Festival. Even if it was going to be like he'd probably beat Statement anyway. But imagine the crowds he'd draw, and like just getting to see him in Ireland, like it's
And imagine the build up from Dublin from Leopardstown to the festival. Like whatever happens at Leopardstown, like you'd have something to talk about on the lead into to Cheltenham. It would be fantastic.
It's a pity, but look, we've got great racing this weekend anyway. Even if maybe some of the bigger names aren't there. Look, this one I'm really looking forward to as well. Unibet hurdle, getting to see Lossiemouth. I think it's about 273 days since we saw her last. Star Juvenile last year. She's shade of odds on. She's getting weight from the geldings. I think she's very, very good. What's your opinion on her, Paul?
She is, yeah. She's unlucky probably not to be unbeaten. She was caught by stable companion Gala Marceau at Leopardstown last season at the Dublin Racing Festival when things didn't go to plan. Got caught down the inside with a horse. The leader was dropping back, and then had to make up ground 5 or 6 wide round the bend, going uphill. Wasn't ideal. Probably did pretty well to get as close as she did. As much as I love Enwa, I'm a huge fan. Love the Noel Feely Racing Syndicate. Big fan of Dave Cross also. But I think she'll struggle here. I think she may give Lossiemouth something to think about, but I think Lossiemouth will take this.
She should do, I'd imagine. Yeah, like it's kind of an embarrassment of riches the Mayor's Willie has this year. Like he sends another 2 to Doncaster. We'll talk about them later. But like I don't know. I was kind of half thinking like when I saw her showing up for this one, like maybe would they try and do an Annie Power or maybe Mayor's Hurdle this year and then maybe go for a champion next year? Do you think is she that good? Do you think?
She possibly is. Like she was very good last year. Like as I said, things at that race at Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival, like she probably did a pretty good to get as close to the winner approaching the last. Like she gave away a lot of ground. You know yourself when you stand at Leopardstown and you look from when you start turning out at the back, it's a long way home and it's uphill. she was making ground from the turn out of the back and having to go wide as well, and still managed to get within a length or so of the winner on the approach to the last hurdle. She has a huge engine, so plenty of improvement still to come. You just wouldn't know where she'd end up.
Yeah, she looks a star in the making, like you were saying. Love Envoy could give her something to think about. Like, obviously loves Cheltenham, but I think, yeah, Willie's mare should have too much for on the day. We go on then. God, there's so many graded races in Cheltenham. You can nearly lose track of where you are. But the Cleeve hurdle, I suppose, next, the 3:35. Plenty of old boys here we see facing off against each other. It seems like nearly every week at this stage. But I think we have the second, third, and sixth from the second, third, fourth, and sixth, actually, I think, from the long walk hurdle. A couple of months ago, Noble 8's an interesting one there as well for Emmett Mullins. Have you got a fancy in this one?
Yeah, we've got plenty of fan favourites, I suppose, but two at the top of the market. Love Dashel Drasher, but I think there's more mileage left in him, so I think we'll save him for another day. Hart definitely ruling the head here with Paisley Park, who is a credit to himself and a credit to Barry Fenton and Emma Lavelle, who've brought it back time and time again. Looked as good as ever on his last couple of starts. Unlucky not to have another one beside his name, and I hope he gets his due rewards here. I hope he behaves at the start and gives himself every chance to land this one. So around about 11-4, definitely the Hart ruling the head, and with Paisley Park.
Yeah, it was a cracking one last time behind Crambo. He's one that will get you off the edge of the seat every time anyway. And yeah, like you were saying, plenty of fan favourites here, so it'll be a good watch. Like Noble Yates, I think for Emmett Mullins, interesting one, I suppose. I'm not sure will they go to Cheltenham. I think after Limerick, they actually sounded a little bit. I actually think I saw Paul Byrne getting interviewed the next day, and they sounded like he was a little bit disappointed in that run, actually, even. And I saw quotes from Emmett saying they might actually, I don't that the two spring festivals didn't suit, that they might just target the Grand National. So not sure will he go for the stairs hurdle, but has to have some kind of chance in this, I suppose.
Yeah, wouldn't be an attractive betting proposition for me. Like, has an entry as well in the cross country race at the festival, so maybe connections are a bit kind of, plans are up in the air here for Noble Yates. But yeah, wouldn't be a betting proposition for me in this.
Yeah, I heard one.
He might run well, but I don't think he'll win.
Heard one to
famous last words.
Yeah, famous last words is right. So last race in Cheltenham we will talk about is the 4:10 Grade 2 Novice Hurdle. Gidley Park is a horse who's kind of building a big reputation there in the last few weeks. A big, strong-looking chasing type. I saw a picture of him on Twitter yesterday. He looks like a smashing horse. He's a short price favourite here though. Johnny Who ran well in the Challow. Had a tough race there though. I thought he was a bit eye-catching, but a couple of Irish challengers as well. But I'd imagine Gidley Park is probably the one with the most potential in here. Do you think?
Yeah, one is last three even money. He will take the beating. Obviously, the price reflects that. I'd be interested in one you mentioned, in Johnny Who. I thought he looked good at Carlisle. Was it 2 starts back, and would have learned plenty in the Challow last time out. He's taught a lot by connections. 16-1 for the Albert Bartlett. I'd be expecting a big run here. He's a horse I quite like, so around about the 92 mark, I'd have a small wager on Johnny Who.
Yeah, it doesn't look a bad shot. I thought he was a bit eye-catching right in that race. I probably just watched this for myself. Antrim Coast maybe for Gavin Cromwell. He's got a massive strike rate here in Cheltenham. I think 25% of runners to winners this season.
They're flying,
which is crazy. Yeah, he's he's good when he targets this track in particular. But yeah, interesting one. Maybe some real Albert Bartlett contenders emerging from that one. We'll drive into Doncaster anyway. Good race in there, plenty of Irish runners as well. I think the first one we will chat about is the Fillies Juvenile Hurdle. Look, just a quick chat about this. I think Gordon has a decent mare in there, Wodhooh. She's a very short price favourite though. Looks likely to win this, I'd say.
Yeah, I think the price reflects that also. Good winner of a similar event at Newbury last time out. She won with plenty in hand, and yeah, she turns up here. You'd imagine she'll get one on the board for Gordon Elliott and Mark Walsh.
Yeah, you'd think so. She good form there with that horse in her burgering back in Listowel. I think beat him, and he was placed in a few graded races after that. So yeah, she looks a decent mare, but maybe some more competitive affairs later on in the card. Maybe not so much this one. Jeriko to Reponet in the 1:30 the Supreme Trial Grade 2. A big hype horse, another one for the Supreme for JP. He seems to have a very strong race for a very strong team for that race in particular, I suppose. Are you buying into the hype around this fella, Mark Walsh, as he travels over to ride as well?
Yeah, I am. I really like him. Todd, I know he was it 2 starts back. He was when he made his reappearance at the beginning of December. Saw a bit of action on social media. People giving out maybe that Nico wasn't harder on him, but no, I'd be happy enough. I think he's catches the eye. Plenty left in the tank. You would like to see him just being taken off the bridle a bit. You know, you don't want going to Cheltenham first time with the shouting and whatnot, with all the chaos that's going on at Cheltenham. You don't want that to be the first time that you know, you proper get a hold of him. You know, and the head goes up and he'll be thinking, what's going on here? What do you want me to do? But yeah, he looks a proper horse. Just on a different tangent here, it's interesting just looking at the last race, like Doncaster based in the north, not many northern representatives here, and those who are, if you're going on betting terms, not much of a chance. So it'd be nice to see some of the bigger northern yards represented here in the bigger races with chances, you know.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of horses travelling up from the south of the country and over from Ireland as well for this. So it's a good point you made there. But just kind of back to Jeriko Reponet for a second. Just kind of looking at the Supreme picture, do you think they're going to try and split these Supreme horses? Like, I suppose he's got Mystical Power and this fella. They're I think the top two in the betting at the moment for Supreme. He's got a few kind of bigger price ones with a bit of a chance, maybe no flies on him for Edward O'Grady, and Mirazor West won during the week. I'm not sure will he head for that. But do you think they'll try and split them? Will one go to the Ballymore maybe?
Yeah, I do. I think they will. I think they'll try and split it.
Which one do you think?
It'll be. I thought this guy here might step up and trip Jeriko the Reponet. He'd be more inclined. Newbury be more of a galloping track. Be interesting, and Doncaster as well. Like they're quite similar. There's no excuses here. Quite similar to Navan as well. Big galloping tracks, gorgeous to ride round, and no excuses. Whereas we'll say 2 miles at Cheltenham would be a lot sharper than 2 miles at Newbury and Doncaster. So I think this will go up and trip.
Yeah, he did look like one who wouldn't mind stepping up anyway. Even if he didn't need to. Well, he didn't sound too keen to step. He's fell up, so they might have to fight about that close to the time, I'd say. But look, the 205, Willie has plenty in this one. Two strong mares, like we were saying, like the strength of the mares Willie has this year is nearly embarrassing. 2 Grade 1 winners in here. He has Lossiemouth as well earlier in the day. Look, Gala Marceau looks very good. She was dual Grade 1 winner last year. Ashrow Diamond Grade 1 winner as well. He looks to have the strongest hand in here. Would you be with one of his, I presume?
Yeah, I'm a Gala Marceau. I think she's got a huge engine. She won a Grade 1 in France at Jetoile when last seen in May. She was no match for Lossiemouth at the Punchestown and Cheltenham festivals. The Cheltenham Clash, of course, came in the Triumph. There were 2 starts prior to that victory in France. But she did capitalise on that race that we mentioned earlier on in the show on Lossiemouth. When Lossiemouth's misfortune, Gala Marceau was there to reap the rewards. She has a huge engine. She wears the hood. She can be a little bit keen. But when you look at her races, how keen she races, she shouldn't be finishing the races that strongly.
Yeah.
That she does. But she's got a huge engine. And I think 2-1 is she's the best price here. I'm seeing 2-1. I think that's a massive price.
Yeah, I was kind of with you. I was kind of surprised that she wasn't favourite, to be honest. Like you were saying, it's kind of no shame to be losing to Lossiemouth. She looks a fairly talented mare, and like you were saying, she's so hard on herself as well. Like, and she beat Zark the Brave, I think, in that race in RT, like Galway hurdle winner after that. Yeah, I think she could be a very good mare. I suppose maybe the break is concerned. She's so keen, she might be hard on herself.
She is. That would be a slight concern. But I think that's probably the way she is. You know, she wears the hood. She's obviously is a little bit quirky and a little bit buzzy. But yeah, hopefully if Patrick stays in a straight line and keeps out of Danny's way, Gala Marceau can lead them home.
I think, yeah, Patrick would probably be keeping a bit more quiet on if anything happened in this one. Got a bit of a telling off after that. But yeah, we're both in agreement there. Gala Marceau could be the one to beat in that. 240 then, last race in Doncaster we'll talk about. Albert Bartlett, Novice hurdle, Grade 2. It's probably not the strongest Grade 2 contest, if I'm honest. I don't think they'll probably be a Cheltenham contender in this, unless they're slipping past me completely. Do you fancy anything in here?
Yeah, I've gone for one with experience here. I've gone with Destroytheevidence for Kim Bailey and David Bass. Kim Bailey had a welcome winner during the week, and while welcome to Cartier, of course, he could be any, or welcome to Cattries, he could be anything. But I've gone with experience. Destroytheevidence, 6 runs over hurdles. 3 of those were wins. I thought he ran a cracker to finish second behind Shannon Bob, who's rated 134. Destroytheevidence was only beaten a length and a quarter on that occasion. That was in Grade 2 company at Cheltenham back on December the 16th. If he turns up here in that similar form, he has to take the beating. I think in typical Batsy fashion, he's going to be shoveling on the coal pretty early here and trying to, see if there's any cracks in the armour of Welcome to Catrice. So best price 4-1. I think it's Destroytheevidence for me. A little bit of market support here since I looked at this race last night for Lucinda Russell's horse, Esprit de Potier. And got to give a mention to I Love My Bay, who I think will struggled in a similar event at Haydock 2 starts back, but represents a team in rude health here in a double shade of double green of Isaac Swade and Simon Muneer, Darrell Jacob and Stuart Crawford. But I think I Love My Bay will struggle, and it's Destroytheevidence for me.
Yeah, he was a good winner there last time, but like you said, did struggle in this kind of company. I kind of would agree with you there on Destroytheevidence. Cheap pieces seem to have brought out great improvement in the last 3 ones as well. So yeah, he might just have a little bit too much for the Paul Nicholls horse, who's obviously a lot less experienced than him. Not actually entered for the Albert Bartlett, which was interesting. Maybe they don't fancy him for that kind of event, but I don't think there'll be an Albert Bartlett winner in this anyway. So yeah, he could be the one there. We're going to Sunday's racing anyway, just a couple of races in Naas we'll have a quick chat about. The first one is the Limestone Lad Hurdle. We were talking about Solerina, another reminiscent weekend for the Bow family horses. Like we were saying, probably won't see a lad like this again. They don't campaign him like they used to with Limestone Lad.
No, but Limestone Lad, he was a cracker now. So obviously Solerina as well. But Limestone Lad was he was I think it was a bit tricky to get on as well. They had to get on him out on the track, and I know Shane McGovern was a regular rider once upon a time and ran a couple of stairs hurdles, but yeah, he was tough as nails.
I actually saw a picture of him on social media this week. I think still looking well at the age of 32. So the tough campaigning didn't do him any harm either.
No, like he was a hardy bit of stuff. Like he was as tough as nails. And every race he'd come out fighting like before the race he'd always be playing up like when it came to legging up the jockey.
He was a tough bit of stuff. So look, it's kind of a random field in this. To me, I think the conditions of it make it kind of hard to find horses. I think if you've won a Grade 1 race since May 2022, you can't run in this. So a few of them kind of thrown in here. I think Zarek the Brave will probably likely be a long odds on favourite for this time. I'd imagine rated 152 Galway Hurdle winner, of course. Golden Joy is an interesting entry for Gordon. I imagine it's just to pick up some prize money. He's third run. I can't really see anything beating Zarek the Brave here. Can you?
No, never went to yard at Tipperary when last seen, and obviously the post race examination brought up something, so to be thankful at least he had a problem came to light that was able to be treated. Zarek the Brave bounces back, as you mentioned, his Galway Hurdle win. He takes this. Like I can't see Golden Joy or the remainder with all due respect being good enough to get ahead of him. So yeah, Zarek the Brave.
Yeah, you'd imagine that. I like Bantam Girl. She's a tough little filly, but Zarek the Brave looks probably be a different class in this one. I think the next race we'll have a look at, the last race we'll have a look at now is a cracker. Grade 3 Novice Chase. Could be some real pointers here, I think, towards maybe the RSA or probably more so the National Hunt Chase. Meeting of the Waters, brilliant winner, the Paddy Power. At Christmas time, Embassy Gardens, really, really good on reappearance this year as well, winning his beginner's chase. Who do you fancy in this one?
I've gone with Embassy Gardens. I think let's be clear about it is obviously interesting, but I think he needs things to fall right. I think he's a horse that likes to get things his own way. Maybe needs to be humoured into the races and whatnot. So if he's on a going day, he'll be thereabouts. But Embassy Gardens, I was pretty impressed with his beginner's victory. Punches down, jumps well, and I think if he can build on that, he'll take a bit of beating, and is the choice at Paul Townend. So Embassy Gardens for me.
Yeah, I'd be with you there. He was really, really good. Probably ultimately a little bit disappointing in his novice hurdle campaign, but yeah, could be a much better chaser and looks to be right up there in that National Hunt Chase picture, I'd say. Look, we'll wrap it up there. We've gone through plenty. Some great tips there from Paul as well. Look, I suppose to finish up, we'll go for your nap, your next bet, and maybe a long shot over the weekend.
Nap is Gala Marceau. I think we'll take that 205 at Doncaster. Next best, I think Destroytheevidence. I think is a bit of value, and I think we'll be thereabouts. We'll be definitely given a positive ride by David Bass, and should go close in that 240. Also at Doncaster, one at a price in the 315 at Doncaster. It's a handicap chase over 3 miles. Hascore Claremont. for Gavin Cromwell. Connor Stonewalsh, who's a young jockey that I've been really impressed with, claims a valuable 5 off 10 stone 8. Now, more to the point, Tasker Claremont, I think if he gets out on the right side of bed here and Connor's able to humour him in the early stages, I think he'll run a big race, right about the 16-1 mark. Tasker Claremont won 2 of his last 3 starts, including an amateur race at Cheltenham back in November. He was well beaten in a similar event at Ascot on his last start, but like I said, the 3 mile start at Ascot, you're going downhill and you have to ditch, I think, is the last fence before you swing to the face at Swinley Bottom. And you do need to meet the first 3 fences spot on. Not everyone's cup of tea. I think Tasker Claremont could be more suited here at Doncaster, and I think if on a going day, I think it's a bit of value at 16-1. It's interesting the connections have opted to persist at this level, so worth a poke.
Good shout. So you can't go against a Gavin Cromwell horse travelling over to England. I suppose he had a good winner there yesterday as well. Look, I was with you with the NAF Gala Marceau for me as well. My next best day away Faye, and my long shot, kind of similar, but same yard in Cheltenham, the novice handicap chase. Railway Hurricane 18-1. I think he's got a bit of an each way chance. I think he's run at Cheltenham 4 times. He's been in the first three times and fell last time, obviously. But yeah, I think he always runs a solid race at Cheltenham, and with Gavin Cromwell's record there, I think 18-1 looks a good each way price. I wouldn't be surprised to see him running into the places there. But look, Paul, thanks very much for all your contributions. Enjoy the weekend's racing, and I hope everyone watching enjoyed the show. If you're having a bet, make sure to gamble responsibly and tune in Monday for our normal Jump to It show.